afternoon all, and welcome to Ricky's Book Journal. Today is the 31st of July, so it's the last day of July, and it is Saturday. Let me make sure it is the 31st. Y'all know my memory. Yeah, it is. Okay, so it is the 31st of July. As you can see, as promised from my last video, all the books behind me are my Danielle Steele books so far. So her nonfiction, her fiction, children books, etc. As you know from me, I do love Danielle Steele and her books. They're amazing, they're great, and fantastic. But today we are going to talk about the completion of my July book review and what I thought about the books that I read. So the first book I read was called Forbidden. This book was actually not what I thought it was. It wasn't as taboo as I thought it was. I thought it would be more taboo, more not that people want to hear about it or see it or learn about it, but more sexual content of the brother and sister, since it talked about incest. Now, what I can tell you from what I read is that there wasn't much sexual contact as there was in kissing. So towards the end, kind of a spoiler alert, but towards the end is where they started making love, but in the beginning parts they started kissing and learning about incest and what can happen. So the book is kind of educational at the same time because it informs you on what has taken place, and it informs you of what happens if incest does take place and what the charges can be. The names of the main character is Loken and Maya. Those are the two who are in love with each other. And then there are Kit, who is the middle child, Rema and Tiffin, who are the youngest children. The book itself was around, the exact amount was 454 pages. And to me, I rated it 4 stars. It was a good book. I liked it. I really enjoyed it for what it was. Like I said, I wish there was more content of it. The surprising ending, though, it did surprise me. The ending kind of shocked me myself, which is why I got 4 stars. It just didn't have that oomph in it that I was looking for that gets a 5-star rating. If a book surprises me, has that oomph, that good, like the good characters, the good writing, things like that, which this book definitely had. Like I said, it just didn't have the oomph for me. It would have got 5 stars, but it didn't. It did get 4. I would do 4, 4.5. But I definitely recommend it being read. I would say an older population, probably high school, deeper into high school, adults, things like that, because there are some curse words in it. Like I said, it does talk about incest, what can happen. It's based in a different country than the U.S. So and it's also written differently, because it is written a version from, I think it's the UK. I'm going to go with the UK. Maybe England. Not sure. But the writing in it does have some different spelling techniques that you don't usually hear in the US. So it was written differently, kind of, but it was, like I said, it was really good. The ending was surprising. It was a book where 2 brothers and sisters fell in love because the mom was an alcoholic. The mom went out and liked to party. The mom was a big, heavy smoker. She really didn't want to spend time with the children. The dad up and left. So, in a way, it reminded me of Shameless. So it's like Shameless meets incest. The best that I can describe it. Because as if any of you watch Shameless, you know that the father is an alcoholic, no good for nothing dad, tries to scam the government, da 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 da. The mother seems to be the same way, but with the men that she dates. So, I would say Shameless meets incest and kind of go from there. But, like I said, all in all, pretty good book. Pretty good book. Wasn't as taboo as I thought it was, as the title or the synopsis made it sound. But it was definitely shocking at the end. It was taboo in the fact that there was a relationship between a brother and a sister, but it wasn't taboo as whips, chains, sex swings, hanging upside down from rafters on the ceiling, da 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 da. But it was a good book. I enjoyed it. The other book I read was called Turtles All the Way Down. This book was a really good book. I also rated it 4 stars because it didn't have that oomph that I needed, but it did have a good ending to it. So the ending was kind of a brief ending, but you were satisfied with the ending because you knew that it was going to be more of a successful life for 2 brothers. So this is an older book. If any of you read it, which I'm pretty sure a lot of you have, it's about mental health issues and OCD, which is also part of mental health. It's about friendship. So to me, friendship, romance, thriller, mental issues, like you get all of that in one book that is around a little bit over 200 pages. And the only reason that I read it, one, I have one of John Green's other books that's called A Fault in Our Stars. It's a wonderful movie if you haven't seen the movie. I wanted the book so I can read the book and see if it explains more than the movie did. But the only reason that I read Turtles All the Way Down is because my younger cousin is actually reading the book for her high school, first year in high school. So part of her, I guess, when I was younger, that makes me sound so old. When I was younger and in high school, 12 years ago. Yeah, 12 years ago. I am 31, so I know I'm not old, but it just makes me sound so old. When I was in high school, I don't remember doing reading over the summer, but apparently up north in Indiana, you do. So I do want to give a big shout out to Madison, along with my family up north as well. Hopefully the weather is warming up, I'm hoping. Right now it's raining outside, so that's why it's a little gloomy here. Excuse my phone, apparently it's going off. And let me put it on silent. There we go. But I read this book for her to kind of just review it with her, and if she had any questions on it, she can come and ask me, and I can help her out, even though we're like over 1,000 miles away. We can always video chat or call each other on the phone, text message, things like that. And we've been text messaging back and forth about the book and how it is and how it's affecting us and what we're understanding of it. But like I said before, this book is definitely a book where you get your romance, you get a good friendship, you get a mystery thriller, and you get that mental issue as well, which some of you know if you watched my earlier videos. This is my fourth one, so my first video. The reason I use the journal is because myself, I have mental issues myself. So I've been diagnosed with a lot of different mental issues, and a lot of them are not curable, unfortunately. So I'm still getting tested and seeing a therapist every 2 weeks, seeing a psychiatrist every month. Pretty soon I'm going to be getting tested for different kinds of tests to see what my brain function is and where I land on this on spectrums and things like that, just to kind of see what's going on up here on my good old noggin. So thankfully, most of my family and my in-laws and my husband have been there for me, and I'm so thankful for them, because as you also know, my husband's going through some issues himself. I'm not going to talk about any of that because that's none of my business to talk about. If he wants to share it, then he would share it. He does share it with some people who he chooses not to, but it's not my decision to share, so it's his. And I'm going to respect his wishes on that. But both of us in our household are going through major life-changing issues that we are still getting used to. He's been going through his issues for around 3-4 years. I've been going through my issues ever since high school, but it was put on the back burner, we'll just say. It was something that my main family, didn't talk about, and it wasn't spoken about. It was just, well, don't worry about it, stop worrying, it'll be okay, da 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 da. Here we are, 31 years old. I'm getting these issues, and it's affecting my body, not only mentally, but emotionally as well. So it's a crazy roller coaster, up and down, side to side, hanging from the rafters. But I deal with it, and I try to stay positive every day. And people who watch my videos and people who know me know that I try to stay positive each and every day, every single day. And so far, it's hard sometimes. It is. It's very hard, especially dealing with things, just finding out things. I just feel like my life has been taken away. It hasn't. I still have my husband, which I'm thankful for, but we still also have our house, which we're both thankful for as well. We have a beautiful home. It's just a single-family home, nothing major, nothing like in the Turtles All the Way Down from the mansion and the giant lizard, with its own keeper and everything like that. Nothing like that. It's a home, and a home is where the heart is. And right now, I feel safest in my home. So I did listen to my therapist, though, and try to go out with my mother-in-law the other day. We had to go shopping. So before COVID got worse, well, it's been getting worse slowly, and it's still here. But when there was less restrictions, I was like, let's try this. Let's try to go into a store, see how it is. So we went to a place called Winn-Dixie, and I was doing pretty good. My abilities to do things went from I can do things throughout the entire day to now I can only do things a little bit at a time, 30 minutes max, and after that my body's done. So it sucks. We were in Winn-Dixie, and we were probably in there for about 35 minutes maybe, and we were checking out, and I told my mother-in-law that I need a drink, and my entire body started shaking. So it's like seizure-like tremors. My voice goes slow. It's like a stroke-like, so I get very slow in my voice, very slurred speech. I can barely move my body. I need a walker to get around on. And at this moment, I was holding a buggy. So as long as I'm holding on to something, it helps. I am lucky that the buggy didn't slip or anything, but I ended up going outside. I gave my mother-in-law my card so she can help out and stuff with the payment and stuff. And I had to go sit in the car. She did give me my pill, though. Before I went to the car, I was able to take it. And but it's something that's scary. Your life, you feel that your life is taken away from you, that this is what your life is going to be, and it runs you. But this book, Turtles All the Way Down, it taught me that this disease and this mental disease, yes, it may be a big part of your life, but it doesn't run you, and you run yourself. You describe who you are. You're not that disease. And that goes for anything, just not mental health. That goes for anything out there. That goes for mental health, physical health, illnesses, things like that. It goes for everything. You're not described by that disease or that illness or that sickness. You're described by who you are. So I'm Ricky. I'm described by me. So I describe my own self, even though I have mental issues and complications and been diagnosed with multiple things and am on different types of medicines. I am described by me of who I am. So even though my illness takes over me sometimes, I know that hopefully, because unfortunately it can kill me if it goes on, I think, too long, or if I don't get help for it, which I am getting help for it, so that's always good. But it will be okay. I know that once I get settled down and once everything calms down some, it'll be okay. So when I was putting the groceries away, I had to get the computer chair and roll around in the kitchen on the computer chair, putting the groceries away and stuff. I mean, unfortunately, which my family knows if they watch this, I love my sweets, so my ice cream melted. Sucked. But I froze it, so it's in the freezer. It's still good. I ate some of it the other day, and nothing happened. But there's obstacles that you have to cross each and every day, and those obstacles that you cross are going to be tough, but you just can't give up. Unfortunately, due to my illness and my mental state, I can't work right now. So that part sucks. I just had to leave a job that I was at for 6 years that I loved. I worked under the president of the company, and I was informed that unfortunately there's no position for me with the diagnosis that I have. And I was informed nicely that I still have a job until October, but it's not covered under FMLA. And that due to my mental state and the diagnosis that I have, that there's no position for me. So yesterday I turned in my paperwork. Well, not my paperwork, but my belongings, and I got my belongings as well, which surprisingly was mostly CDs, because I worked on computers, so I listened to music. Part of the enjoyment of my position was listening to music and helping customers at the same time via email, social media, things like that. But that's 6 years of my life. And when the company came down here to Florida, I was part of the first crew that went into that company and opened the doors and started everything and learned. So and it is sad. It's sad that I had to go, and that I, I just, I miss my work family. Though I have amazing memories with that company, and I loved what I did. I absolutely loved it. But the most important thing is your mental health. So you have to learn to take time for you. And as my psychiatrist said, that this can actually be a blessing in disguise. So I don't have to worry so much. I don't have to worry so much at work. I don't have to be around a lot of people. I can be home and help my husband if he needs it. Although I've been needing the help mostly. I think 2-3 weeks ago I fell. So I had to get help from him. He had to bring me my walker so I can hoist myself up on the walker. But when I have an attack, my legs are mostly paralyzed. So it's dead weight. So my upper body is lifting my dead weighted legs. If I wasn't able to get up, he couldn't help me. If he called my mother-in-law here, she couldn't help me. So we would have had to call the non-emergency number to help me get up. I'm a big guy, big or skinny. I'm not big as in big, big, big. I'm big as in tall. I'm 6'4". So skinny or big or whatever you want to call it, for someone who's 5'11" or smaller, or even sometimes 6'4", it's hard to lift someone up who's 6'4" and taller than you and weighs more than you as well. So I'm going to take care of me and try to see what I can do. But this book kind of turtles all the way down. It made me realize that because there's two best friends, Asa and Daisy, and then there's Daniel. And Asa has a mental issue, along with OCD. So part of her issues are psychological, and part of her issues are also OCD as well. She kissed one of the guys that she was seeing, and as she was kissing him, she thought of the microisms that is going from his mouth to her mouth, and she's ingesting and things like that, and she actually ends up drinking hand sanitizer to try to clean out her system, which isn't good for you because, one, it has chemicals in it and alcohol in it. So that's not good. But their main place to go is Applebee's, which is funny because it reminded me of me and my best friend. One of my best friends. I have two, other than my husband, I have two best friends. Their names are Emmy and Jessica. And Jessica, I met her at work. So when I was working, she was my work wife. Part of my diagnosis is, what's that called? Dependency disorder. So I need to be with someone. So she looked at me every time because she's like, I told you to go to lunch. I told you to stay with the table. But I had to meet her because my regular routine, because of my OCD, was meeting her at her locker at work. And we would walk together to the lunchroom in the cafeteria, and then we would walk back to her locker, and she would drop her stuff off, and then I would walk to my station, she would walk to hers. And she was my work wife at work. She was an amazing, and still is an amazing person with two wonderful children and a great husband. And then back in high school, and even now, I was able to drive and stuff because due to my issues and my seizure-like tremors, I can't drive, but she can always pick me up if she needed to, or someone can drive me there. Sorry, I spit on my screen. I had to clean the screen off. We we used to go to Applebee's. We used to pick each other up and go to Applebee's at like 11 o'clock midnight and have some frozen strawberry daiquiris and half price appetizers and just stay there till like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. The waitress knew us by name, knew what we wanted. I like sugar on the rim. She likes salt on the rim. But it was fun. It was good. So their main place, Aza and Daisy's place to meet up is Applebee's. So they're at Applebee's a lot, which I just found was funny because I'm like, Aza has a mental disorder. I have a mental disorder. Her and Daisy meet up at Applebee's. Me and Emmy meet up at Applebee's, and so met up at Applebee's, and so it was fun. It was a good book. It was cute. Emmy is still my best friend from high school. Jessica's still my best friend from work, and Emmy has a wonderful boyfriend, hopefully soon to become fiance. His name is Dusty, and it was funny as well because in the book they have a lizard. It's like a big lizard, but it grows to be like 150, 160 years old. But Emmy and Dusty have 13 lizards in their home. I think they're bearded dragons. So they have a 3-bedroom house and a room dedicated to the lizards. So, and Emmy's boyfriend, soon hopefully again to be fiance, has a great son. He's wonderful, and he loves his son very much, and I know Emmy loves him very much as well. So they're great people. They also have, both of them, Emmy and Jessica have dogs. So Emmy and Dusty has 2 dogs. I have no clue what breed they are, but I like Diamond. Their name is Diamond and Bambi. And then Jessica and Sam, they have 2 little wiener dogs, and I forgot their names. I know they're named after like hysterical stuff, I think. I don't know. So if they watch this, I'm sorry, I forgot your dog's name. But the book Turtles All the Way Down was an actually really good book. I truly enjoyed reading it, and I would definitely recommend it. I did, once again, I think I said it, I gave it 4 stars. Part of my disability is my short-term memory. So I did, I believe, give it 4 stars, and I really liked the book. It was a really good book, easy read, but just it taught me a lot. That book, it just taught me so much with my life. And this book can go to anyone and for anyone to learn something who's dealing with something, either mental or physical, illness wise, anything like that. My next book that I'm reading is going to be 19 Minutes, and this book is mostly about a school shooting. Part of the book on my first video, I think, where I mentioned all the books I read so far. This is my second book on a school shooting, so it's supposed to be really good. Very sad, probably very emotional, so I probably will be crying. Sometimes my emotions get out of whack, but it's okay. But that is one of the books that I'm reading, and then if I finish that, depending on when I finish it, I will probably start another book. I'm not sure, though. It just depends. But let's see real fast if... I can't reach up there. So hang on one moment. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So part of one of the Danielle Steele books I got is called Expect a Miracle. It's Quotations to Live and Love By. It's by Danielle Steele. Is what she looks like as well. Without the dust jacket, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but there's, well, you can kind of. There's stars on the page, and then the name of the book on the spine. So it's a very pretty book. When you open it up, it also has a gold page here. And it has a introduction. I'm not going to read the introduction though, but the introduction is right here. It's 2.5 pages about. And then there's a roadmap to life as well. And it has little stars on it. But I'm going to read, I like this too, Miracles Do Happen. So I'm going to read one of her, I'll read 2 of them I guess because it's pretty small. 2 of the quotes that are on the pages here. The first one's going to be, Life is a series of thousands of tiny miracles by Mike Greenberg. The other one is, one of the deep secrets of our life is that all that is really worth doing is what we do for others, by Carroll. So this book, look at those amazing colors. It's gorgeous. It is full of just poems that, like she said, quotations to live by and love by. So each day I think what I'm going to do, or each time I make a video, is read one of these quotes by her. Does it show the page mark? Does it show how many pages? No, it does not show how many pages. But part of the awesome thing is you can also, there's room. There's 1, 2, 2 little pages that you can write, that are lined. You can write your own quotes or your own poems on. This book was copyrighted in 2020, so it was actually just mostly released. So I'm pretty excited to see what quotes to live and love by is in this book. And then if you're wondering, because one of my friends had a question about it too, up there, right there, that book's standing. So the only reason why that book is standing up is because that is her son. And her son's name is, I forgot, I think it's Nicholas. Hang on, let me move you back real fast. Nick. So his name is Nick, and what happened is he went through some mental health issues as well, and the demons of his brain and mental health got to him, and he died. He passed away. I'm not going to say how, but we all can kind of figure out how he passed away. but that is one book that I do want to read, because that book was probably one of Danielle Steele's hardest books to write, because it is about her own son and his life and growing up and everything and what he had to go through. So having issues, being sick, being mentally sick, physically sick, having illnesses isn't something easy to live by. It's not anything that's easy to live by. It's very hard, and people who don't experience it sometimes don't understand why it's so hard. They don't understand where you're coming from, what you're experiencing, why you're experiencing it, things like that. And so just what I have to say as I'm ending this video is love each other, be patient, be kind, be courteous to everyone. Everyone you meet is someone that can possibly make a difference in your life. A good difference, a bad difference, a difference that may just be for a day, a difference that you may remember and then forget, and then it comes back up in your memory again. But just be kind and love one another. There's no reason to always fight, always argue, always disagree. Sometimes you just have to agree to disagree, because everyone has their own opinion, everyone has their own mindset, everyone has something that they may or may not be going through, or they may not even tell you. So you may not even know. I'm open. I'm kind of like an open book. I'm just going to let you guys know and let you know how I'm feeling. But like I said earlier, I'm, like my psychiatrist said, this is probably a good thing that I'm not working, because now I can focus on me, my mental health. I don't have to worry about my husband. I can be there for him if he needs me. He can be there for me if I need him. So along with some other family members as well. So my husband and I, like I always say, almost probably in every single video, my husband and I have a wonderful, wonderful relationship, and I'm very, very happy for him. He is someone who is strong, who is dedicated, who I never want to leave, who I know that one day, hopefully, we'll both get better and we can enjoy life. And hopefully he can stop suffering as well, because he does have a good heart. He has an amazing heart, and he's a beautiful soul. And even though people may see him differently, I see him the same as I always have before. Just a loving, caring individual who cares for others, wants the best for people. Now, he does speak his own mind sometimes. Well, not sometimes, most of the time. But he's a loving person, and sometimes because of the way that people treat him, he may not treat them the best, so they don't understand that. And yes, two wrongs don't make a right, but people need to learn how to treat others with kindness, because as I was taught, there's only so many bridges that you can burn. And if you burn one bridge, you're going to burn a lot of other bridges as well. So, I mean, that's mostly what happened. Some bridges were burnt between him and some other people that I'm not going to mention, because, again, that's his story, his time. And so he no longer wants anything to do with them. He doesn't agree sometimes with things that people say. And he says his own thing on how he thinks and on how he feels, but sometimes those people make him feel bad for saying what he says. So in our relationship, we thoroughly listen to each other. we give back our feedback to each other, and we do it in a kind way. We try not to argue, we try not to fight. People have good days, people have bad days. It depends on how kind of how both of us are feeling. But we try our best to communicate, because that is the number one key in a relationship, is to communicate with one another, kindly and properly, and be there for each other. When we got married, this September we will be together for 5 years. So, and married for almost 2. So March will be 2 years. March 17th will be 2 years. This is one of our pillows that we got for our wedding. So not March, I'm sorry, April 17th, we will be together for, married for 2 years. See, I told you, memory is gone sometimes. You should have seen how long it took me to remember his birthday. April 17th, we'll be together for 2 years. And it's been a great journey, a wonderful ride, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for us, because I know that things will hopefully start getting better soon. But just remember, everyone, be kind, be courteous, help someone do a good deed, and just be patient with one another. I hope everyone has a wonderful Saturday. Well, it's Saturday here in Lakeland. It's 3:40, so Lakeland, Florida. And I don't know where you guys are watching this from, so it may be Sunday. I'm going to try to get this uploaded today. But I love each and every single one of you. You guys are great, so please don't forget, if you do like my videos and my little messages and just me talking sometimes, hit that subscribe button, that bell button, the like button. Those are always good things to do. And I will see you soon, either next month or in the middle of the month or next week maybe. I don't know. But like I said, I'm going to start reading the 19 Minutes. So I hear it's a pretty good book. Bye everyone. Love ya.